So this tutorial is going to talk about leading and kerning, meaning leading, the spacing between letters, as well as kerning, the spacing between lines of text, and then also layouts of logo and word mark. So you are now developing, you started with your concepts, you've got your 3 versions of your best, you decided on your favorite one. You are going to now move that one into developing 3 different combination logos with your word mark. So here's where you just start experimenting with size of your text as well as with font of your text. And hopefully you've had a chance to download some fonts that you thought would communicate really well for the company that you are representing. And as I think about urban organics, I think about, organics seem very, like the lines should feel very organic. And so maybe thinking like a script font. And so I'm going to find a script font that I like. Let's see here. See, now that doesn't work in all caps, but if I were to change that, it works a little better, okay? So right now I have these two in a single group of text. So if I take my T tool and I just click like that, I can type my word, okay? If I do it again somewhere else, I can make them 2 separate entities, okay? So I recommend that you do not use a text box. To create a text box, I have the T tool, I click and drag, urban, and if I hit return, organics, you're a little bit limited on, I'm changing the size of the text box, not the text, whereas if I were to go like this, I could change the size of the text. And you can play around with the leading between the spaces, or between the leading space between the 2 words. So I've got these 2 words, they're in the same text field. I want to make this one bigger, and maybe about as wide as the word organics, okay? And I also want to center this so that they're lined up. And maybe I want to adjust the leading a little bit. So I have to highlight from the top down to the bottom, and I have to have my character window up. Character window is under type. So let's bring up the palette character. And where is it? I don't know where you're at. Okay. There, I can click on character right here at the top. So if I click on that, it brings up the character palette, and I can adjust the spacing between letters, the kerning here, and the spacing between lines. So I'm going to go ahead and type maybe 30 points. So that kind of brought that down quite a bit. Let's maybe increase that spacing a little bit. Okay, and I want to make organics a little smaller. And I want to adjust the kerning to space those letters out. So here, I'm going to bring this over here so we can see it. So here's where I can increase the spacing. You can see that little arrow, the spacing between letters. So I'm going to bring that way up. Maybe I'll just go in and type 200, see what that brings me. And I want that to be maybe about the same width as urban, so I'm going to increase it a little bit more. 250 maybe, try that. So I really like that way that's looking, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is try different layouts. So right now, I might try the logo to the left of the word mark, just like it is. I'm going to copy and paste this. And I'm going to try a stacked layout. So different ways to lay out the logo and the word mark. As I look at this one, I kind of, I'm going to make this one a little smaller. As I look at that one, I don't like it as much, but you can kind of think about how does that logo fit in with the text. So maybe it kind of sits on the top right corner there, as I kind of have this little area right in here for it to fit in. But I'm also going to try a different font combination too. I want to pick a different font. And I'm just going to go with a real modern a modern font, like maybe Avenir Light. And then maybe try that. I could make that just a little bigger if I wanted. Maybe I want to make that a script. I could play around with that, thinking about how fonts complement one another. So this one looks better stacked kind of this way. So logo on top of the word mark. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to play around with different layouts. You're going to play around with different ways to stack the logo and the word mark. And so I want to see you do at least 2 different layouts. Okay, so here's one layout, here's 2 layouts, here's a third where the word mark is kind of incorporated into the actual logo. Okay, and then you also need to have a variety of different font selections. Okay, so thinking about how your font communicates with your company and what your company does.